Alarming stats in the new Fargo Police Department annual report just released last night.
Police say while crime in general is dropping, one big number stands out, causing some major concerns. Valley News Team's Gabriel Osler explains.
The data in the Fargo Police Department's 2023 report gives reasons for citizens to be optimistic.
Crimes where people are actually victims is all down. A good message there for the community.
But there is one threat that looms larger and larger every day: fentanyl.
The sheer volume is just astronomical from what we've seen before, and everyone should be concerned about that.
Part of the report stated that in 2023, the department seized over 85,000 M30 fentanyl pills. That's an increase of 126% from the year before, and it doesn't even scratch the surface of the problem.
But think about if we seized 86,000, there's probably 3 or 4 times that amount, if not more, that is flowing through our area, and that's just our area.
Chief David Zabolski acknowledged that there's really nothing his department can do to stop the influx of the drug. However, they can and have done more to stop violent crime in the city. Practically every statistic, including rapes, shootings, and murders, saw a decline. Now, Zabolski wants the force to focus on streamlining operations.
Right now, we spend a lot of time looking through video to find people. There's technology that would allow us to find one person that we're looking for and let the computer do the rest.
Still on everyone's minds is the death of Officer Jake Wallin that fateful day back in July. Zabolski gave his department credit for soldiering on after the tragedy.
Really, aside from that initial period thereafter, people were back out doing what they needed to do to keep our community safe and keep each other safe.
And says officer wellness is one of his top priorities in 2024.
It's a process to work through a tragedy like this at a lot of different levels.
In Fargo, Gabriel Osler, Valley News Live.
The department says 2024 is a year to honor Officer Wallin. The biggest event will be in May.
Yeah, that's when his name will be revealed on the National Law Enforcement Memorial Wall in Washington, D.C.